Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Snap Decisions. I am here with, this guy, Glazer from Snap Judgements. Glazer, welcome back. He was my first guest on my YouTube channel, and he's volunteered to come on again. I love talking to this man. He does, you guys know him, he does the videos every single day. I keep telling him I don't know how he does it, but it's a lot of hard work. Glazer, thank you for joining me, my friend. I really appreciate you coming on again.
It is absolutely my pleasure. Thanks for having me. I mean, look, I clearly wanted to be here. I made damn sure I was going to be here. So,
He definitely did. We worked out a schedule, and then as it turns out, things happened today, and so I'm grateful you came on because we could talk a little bit about that stuff. We're in the new season, and the season pass came out yesterday. We had Black Swan release yesterday. We had Supergiant release yesterday. There's a little bit of an issue with some of the card. Well, with Black Swan, really, yeah, it wasn't playable for a little while. They did some fixes and stuff to it, so. How much? We'll start there, I guess. How much did you get to play with the new cards? Of the two of them that came out, do you have a favorite one that you like? I know you're messing around with Black Swan deck, and mostly people were playing with Supergiant, which I guess that was because of the way that the card was. But how much playtime did you get with Supergiant, and what do you think of the card?
so I've played a lot of both. They're basically all I've been testing so far. I haven't had a chance to test the patch out, so that my patch thoughts will be purely theory crafted. But I do have a good idea of what I think of the other cards. Because I played basically all Supergiant and all Black Swan for the past day and a half as much as I could. I think Black Swan right now is a bad card. I think they nerfed Black Swan to make Beast better because Beast was infinitely better, but instead they just made themselves instead of just one bad card, they now made Beast bad and Black Swan bad, and Bounce is my favorite archetype, so I'm really, really upset about that. I want Black Swan to be good, but I think the only place she's good is in Thanos, and that makes me sad.
Yeah, that Thanos Zoo list, I saw that going around a little bit and some people playing that. So, yeah, it would make a lot of sense. Yeah, I could see that. Like it was a rough day for Bounce with the changes that we got. I know a lot of people I saw online were really upset with that beast change.
hmm
And I could understand that. Really, because they don't keep that reduction anymore, that kind of, almost does away with what that card
hmm
what it does for you altogether.
I mean, the point of the card was to play. I mean, the point of the card was a lot of things, right? But at this point in the meta, the point of the card is to play it with either Hit Monkey or Werewolf by Night, and its reduction being limited means you have to have Werewolf out before it now, and you need to Hit Monkey the next turn, which means you're playing Beast on turn 5, and neither one of those are ideal situations. So I think the card is basically just like, I don't want to say dead. It's not dead. It's not one of the worst cards in the game, but it's no longer. It's been knocked heavily off its lofty perch.
Mm. Yeah, no doubt. And how about Supergiant? What do you think of Supergiant so far?
Supergiant's been great, better than I expected, and I had it as the best card this season. It's more just good in various decks, right? Like it allows you to do 1,000 unconventional and frustrating things to your opponent. This card's getting nerfed hard. Is basically what my immediate opinion is.
Mm,
It's like, okay, so someone gets the initiative, plays Supergiant, and then they play a card, and unless you have Daredevil, right? Like, are they gonna double Eliath you? Are they playing Zero and Atuma or a two-man martyr? Are they playing a Super Scroll? Are what's going on under there? Are they playing a Shang-Chi and they're gonna now throw priority for the last turn? Like what is happening? What are we doing at that point? And since there's no way to know, she's just been incredibly powerful and frustrating. I've had a hard time. I don't know whether it's my MMR or not, but I've had a hard time getting a high cube rate with her because I get initiative, I super giant, and I snap, and they run.
mm. Yeah. I can understand why that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I've seen some videos of some of the content creators that were playing. I watched Dare a little bit
hmm
and saw some other people do the Eliath play. That's just nasty. When you copy that, when you have said they end up having an absorbing man in the deck
hmm
too. So
hmm
they would have Eliath down, and then you just Eliath both lanes, and that's it. You
Yep.
just win the game.
You had
So
initiative, so that's the end of it, right? Like it's
yep.
completely disgusting. It's like utterly disgusting.
Yeah, almost reminds me of the good old Spider-Man lockdown double lane absorbing
Yeah.
days where you couldn't do anything. It's the same thing, really.
Good old, you say.
Yes, Yes. But yeah, I could see that, and I saw. I tried. I was messing around with her a little bit. It's very. It is a. I could see where you could see where you say it's broken.
Mhm.
I could see that with a lot of those combos and stuff like that for sure. It's very reliant upon where you get her in game too. Obviously, if you get her late, it's useless pretty much for you. If you get her too late in the game, but yeah, otherwise it seems like it's a pretty good card so far,
Mhm.
and like you said, better than Black Swan. So, overall, how'd you finish up your last month?
Um, I don't. I was my lowest ever rank. I had one bad day, and I never bothered to reclimb. I
Yeah,
finished at about 20,000 rank. I usually finish around 5,000 rank, but I had one day where I was just like playing silly and honestly just kind of annoying my friends by playing silly, and I fell from my usual like 7,000. I was around 7,000 at that point, and I fell to 16,000. I was like, yeah, that was fun. And then I just didn't play ladder for a few days because it was Infinite Conquest week. And then
yep.
I came back. I was like, oh, I'm 25,000. So I climbed back to 20,000 like relatively quickly, and then the season ended. I got to game 5 of One Infinity Conquest where I was playing Hela and I got a Hela mirror and I was up 3 cubes to 1 and I ended up losing the game. I lost 2 games in a row to not get my Infinity border for the season. But honestly, like that was the only serious Infinity Conquest I played that season. So ultimately I was pretty happy with my performance. I was pretty happy with the games. I think the game is in a nice healthy place at least as far as the decks go. So I enjoyed myself.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, Gunny. When Gunny and I were talking, Gunny. It was when I was talking to him when he was on my show
Gunny?
before.
What's a gunny? I don't know.
Gunny T.
Eh, never heard of him.
Yeah, right. Him and his and the well, you I saw you feature them on your video. Actually,
Yeah.
the rules that he had.
Mhm,
It really people have to understand it really does work.
mhm.
And you know he kind of tried to mentor me a little bit because I don't play much ladder. I just don't get the time a lot of times to play it. So, but yeah, you know, we started off with a goal, and he's like, "Where do you want to get?" And you know, and just let me know. And I've been communicating with him little by little about
That's
how I've
awesome.
been doing and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's really cool. He's such a good dude.
Yep.
And so yeah, just it was just great. So I played a little bit of ladder to end the season, he's insistent on trying to get me to infinite for the first time because I've never hit it. So we'll get there. We'll
Oh,
get
he'll
there.
he'll
So
definitely get you there.
yeah, yeah, I have no doubt.
So
I have no
have
doubt.
no fear.
I think my issue is I'm stubborn and I play the decks that I like regardless of whether they work or not.
So no, you're
And
stubborn and you don't retreat enough. The answer
I
is
is
always
you're
the
right.
answer is literally always retreat more. Everyone's like, I don't know why. It's all just variance. I can't win. It's like, did you retreat when you were supposed to? And
Nope.
there was like, yeah. And it's like, no, you didn't. Stop it.
Yep. That's
You let
very
your
true.
pride get in the way. You let your like wanting to see what happens, curiosity get in the way. And look, I do that too, but I know enough at this point. Like, right? Like I've done this. I'm obviously obsessed with the game, right? So like I've done it enough that I know exactly how much I can do that without it like bothering me.
Yep. Yeah.
But if you're not careful,
I ran into a situation, and I actually told him about it. We were laughing about it a little bit, but I ran into a situation where so I told him my goal is to get to 90, and I'm like, I'm sitting around 70 something, so I want to just climb to 90, so that's my goal. And he's like, all right, cool. So I was up at 87, and I
mhm,
was playing a game, and of course I'm using my Galactus deck, and I'm playing a game against the Destroy deck, and it was late at night, and I should know better than to do this too, because when I play late at night, I just lose, and it's
yeah,
probably just because I'm not focused. It's like 1 in the morning, 1:30 in the morning, and I'm probably tired. And I was playing the Destroy deck. It was the last turn of the game, and I played it like it was turn 5 because I wasn't paying attention, and I had him beat. And it was 8 cubes, and I would have literally gone from high 87 to 88 with the win. It would have been an 8 cube win,
mhm,
and I lost because I wasn't paying attention. I got so mad at myself, and like you were saying, after that, it was like, nope, I should have just stopped the game, just put it
yeah.
down and stayed where I was. Nope. I insisted I'm going to go back and I'm going to start winning again. Nope. I went on such a massive losing streak after that. I'm like, yep, see what you did.
I mean, look, there's this old story. I don't know if you've heard of it, but pride cometh before the fall.
Oh, I've heard it.
Yeah, it sounds vaguely familiar. It's hard to
Eh,
I don't remember where it's from or anything, but that one that
yes.
it'll get you every time.
It certainly does. Yeah, it's a good lesson for people because in more ways than one, And I like to talk to a lot of the other people who are very casual players because it's hard for me to get
Mhm.
time, and I know a lot of people that are out there are, and so it's like when you don't you realize that you have that little bit of time, but you should really make sure that you're playing, and then you're not like you were saying, you just when you lose a bad match or something like, just get away from the game. Like Lambie says, just walk away. And
Mhm.
so it's very good advice. So, but yeah, but it's cool though, because I'm glad that he came out with those rules that he did, Gunny, because it's a good reference to go back to, and it's good really for every player because you just walk through them and you just see, okay, this is the one good thing. And I told him I learned from it though is now I'm starting to learn how leaving for the one cube is not, like you were saying, not a bad thing.
Nope.
So yeah, but
So I
but
almost
anyway,
never I almost never end a game for 2 cubes. I'm either snapping and then retreating for 2,
yep,
or I'm snapping and winning 4.
yep,
Like, it's like I or they're retreating for 2. But I almost never finish a game of Marvel Snap at 2 cubes, and I know that I'm over aggressive, but, like, Lambie is my favorite player, and it's his fault, I swear.
yeah,
So, but yeah, it's, I generally speaking, like, 80% of my games end up at 2 or 4 cubes.
very cool. Well, we got the rest of this month coming up, and obviously these cards are going. Any of these other cards that you can see that you're high on? I mean, Corvus obviously for discard. Cull, yeah, I mean he's just gonna be a big body. He'd probably fit in like High Evo and stuff like that. That just takes those big bodies anyway. Proxima, very good discard too. But any of the other ones that you could see coming up in the coming weeks that you're really looking forward to playing?
I mean, simply and bluntly, Cull is busted, right?
Yeah,
Like, Cull is I mean, look, Proxima may be busted, but I'm not sure the deck Proxima goes in matters.
yeah, yeah. She's just a way to get into a lane.
Yeah, fundamentally, yes.
Yeah,
She's a
yeah,
way to get into a lane, sure. But she's also just a 0/7 and you usually have to pay energy for stats,
yep.
right? And like for Proxima, you don't have to pay energy for stats, and that makes her good. Um, so she's gonna be very good, but is discard very good? I don't know.
Yeah,
Uh, Cull is just power creep. He's better than the other 410s, basically, except for occasionally Sentry, right? Because Sentry's in that Annihilus package. But outside of that, Cull is fantastic, like nutty good. One of the
yeah.
better cards in the game.
The fact that they clarified that now where you could just play him with the one
Hmm.
cost, so
Hmm.
you can five cost or five your turn five at
Or turn
one
4 with
cost in the
Sabu.
beginning. Oh yeah, very true. Yeah. Yeah, he is going to be a pretty good card. I like these characters. I've been a fan of the
Hmm.
Infinity Gauntlet stuff for a while, so I kind of dig that the whole season's about them. But yeah, it's going to be a fun season, I think, and I'm excited about that Thanos Infinity Gauntlet comic
Uh,
book variant.
I am getting it without any kind of question or doubt. I will
Yep.
have that. That will be mine.
Yes. Yep. Did you get the Galactus one?
Yeah, of course.
Did you? Yeah.
I also have the Werewolf by Night one, but I didn't care about the High Evolutionary one because High Evolutionary has a Dan hip.
Yes. Yeah. I just got the coolest Dan hip I've seen so far. I've got the Absorbing Man. He is amazing.
Nice.
Amazing looking card.
I
I
have that. I
do
have
you?
all but like 4 hips.
He popped up out of a cache, and I don't even think I remember seeing it anywhere when I got that card. I'm like, I don't even remember seeing that this was announced that it was coming
Hmm.
out.
Hmm.
But I love it. I love how it looks. He's got the thing hand and stuff like that on the one side. Yeah, I think that's fantastic. What do you think of the new albums?
I
Did
don't.
you did
I
you
don't care.
see the Pixel one came out?
Yeah, just wake me up when there's another hip one. I don't care. I'm just if I the like I play enough that eventually I'll start filling these, right? But I have like
Yeah,
3 or 4 and all the others, and I have the hip one full, and that's
yeah.
going to be my basic mo for these. Um, yeah.
Yeah, me too. I have the
Uh,
hip one as well. I ended up having what was it? The Pixel one. I think I had nine to start with, just because of the fact that I have so many pixels. So I
yeah.
had 9 out of the 12 or something like that. And I got the I got the saber tooth card that's in that. Oh God,
Yeah.
it's he's standing in water. It actually is not a bad looking pixel, but when I posted it, I got a comment on it on Twitter. Someone saying, "Oh, it felt there's a little sad emoji." It says he's crying, and I'm
Oh,
like, he's the water dripping off his face. Like, yeah, he's just kind of crying. So maybe he's crying because he's a bad pixel card.
yeah.
I don't know, but
Look, there's like 4 pixels I like, and I still won't spend gold on them. I will get pixels when the snap gods deem I should.
yeah, you'll pull them out of the cache. I
Yeah, I'll
love the
pull them out of
Jubilee.
cash back today.
I love the Jubilee one.
I
Love
have
it.
a hip. My basic answer to 90% of variants is I have a hip, so I don't have to think
Yeah,
about this. Like as
yeah,
long as I have a hip, we're all set. I don't have to worry about, you know what I mean?
yep, yeah. I
I
love
don't
the
need
hip stuff.
another variant. So we're good.
I love the hip stuff too. Do you have an entire deck out of hips yet?
I can, but no. There's not one that's quite good enough and I don't want to make one. I can
Okay.
make one, right? Like again, I have like 112 hips or something like that. Um so I could make one, but like I keep waiting for one to organically come up. The most I've ever had organically come up is a 10 hipper.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I know you do the count on your show all the
Yep,
time.
yep.
I know. So
So I
yeah.
used to cover every variant, but like since the good cards in the game are the good cards in the game, unless I change one of their variants, I'm just repeating the same damn cards over and over again, right? Like
Yep.
how many times can I be like, and I'm running again this Shang-Chi, right? So now I just do the hip count and call it a day. I feel like it's probably fine.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let me go over this, and I know this is old news, but now this was the last balance update that we got. So, and did anything really stand out here for you? I mean, I didn't see. I know I listened to a couple of podcasts that they talked
Mhm.
about the Hulkbuster thing, and actually somebody went and did the math and said that that actually improved the
Yep.
Destroy deck because it goes on curve now, and it actually makes the Deadpool a little bit bigger than it was before. Luke Cage, obviously the big winner, I think here. I was pretty excited about that because I love Man Thing and I want to play with my Man Thing card.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but
you want to
anything
play
else
with you want to play with your man thing? Okay.
Man Thing?
Just not on air,
That
please. We'll
sounded
be fine.
bad, didn't it?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yes.
Look, see? You
Yeah.
said card, so you made it okay.
That's gonna that's gonna sound pretty funny on the audio portion, actually. That'll get a laugh from some people. But
Nice.
any any of this mean anything big to you? Like did you
Uh,
like any of these changes? What do you think
G-
of it? What did you think of
Ghost
this?
had a great 5 days. For five
Yeah.
days, Ghost was amazing, and now Supergiant is out, and priority matters, and you don't always want to throw it. And Ghost and Sarah are dead,
Yep.
but Ghost was really, really great for 5 days.
Yep. Yeah.
Um, I like that Luke is back, and the rest is like Spider-Man and Heimdall don't matter,
Yep.
and Hulkbuster is fine,
Yeah.
perfectly fine.
Yep. Yep. I think that Luke Cage might tone down the high Evo negative a little bit. That was going around. A lot of people were playing those high Evo negative decks with Scorpion and Abomination and stuff
Yeah,
like that, and that might
yeah.
definitely calm them down a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it was okay. And then I guess we can get in now. I apologize. I don't have any slides. I thought I had them here, but I don't. But
Mm.
what did you think about today's changes? Obviously, we got Omega Red, who I don't know, seems like it's better. He might see some play now.
So let's start there. Omega Red's one of the best cards in Marvel Snap right now.
Yep. Yeah.
He's a what's his exact text? Let me grab that exact text
Yeah.
right
Here,
now.
I could probably pull it up for you too. Give me 1 second.
It is now. Why are you being a jerk, game? I always have Snap Zone open because
Nice.
yeah. Oh, it's still the old text. You turd of a site. It takes so long to update. I love Snap Zone, right? I work for them. If anyone doesn't know, but it takes them forever. Like it catches in a cache, whatever, however you want to pronounce it. So it always takes freaking forever. I have it on my slideshow. Give me a sec. I just want to. Oh, sorry. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
I have the Venomized one up.
There
I'm
we
good.
go.
There it
If you're
is.
winning here, +3 power to other locations. So he's a 411 if you can win his location.
Yep.
Right? That's less than a 414, but it's easier to pull off, and it's especially really nice at the end of the game as a surprise.
Yep. Yeah. At least it'll see play. I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. It was pretty bad card before that. And I was talking, I of course I always look for ways that I could sneak a Galactus out in the lane.
Yeah.
So now you have that one lane. And usually this is kind of how a Galactus deck normally plays anyway. You try to force feed a lot of cards usually into one lane early, unless you're playing the Annihilus version, then it's kind of sneaky. But the old style ones, you put a lot of your cards in, you get a scaler, so you put Nebula in or whoever is first, and then you put a 2 in there, which might be Jeff, and then you put Wave
Mhm.
in, and you try to get them all in the same lane. Now, if you do that and you put Omega Red in that lane, you're winning that lane most time. It's going to give you an extra 3 points for that lane that you're going to try to use your Galactus in. So I think it might actually be a decent card and stuff like that.
I would be surprised if it is not.
Yeah.
Um, it's look, it's strong. I don't know what else to say. Like it's just strong.
Yep.
Um, it's so here's how I've been thinking about it. If you play Kazara Blue Marvel, let's say Blue Marvel, you play Blue Marvel and you have 3 cards in a lane, right?
Yep.
You just got +3. Cool. That's the exact same thing Omega Red is doing,
Very true.
right?
Yeah.
Except Omega Red has 2 more base power on himself. It's worse if you have 4 power there, right? But you're making up for that unless you're filling multiple lanes with Omega Red's +2 power.
Is he a better Ms. Marvel, do you think?
No, he's worse than Ms. Marvel, but he's
Yeah.
still very good. Ms.
Yeah.
Marvel is still like intensely, insanely good.
Yeah.
But outside of Ms. Marvel, I don't think there's much else better than him.
Yeah, yeah, I would concur. I think it's a fun card, and it'd be nice to see it played for a change. Well, what were the other ones? How about Helicarrier? It's interesting. I mean, you're going to get a card or a handful of random cards, which I don't know. I don't know if it delivers e play, but to me, maybe in Conquest more than Ladder it would come in handy because you're looking to kind of maybe surprise your opponent a little bit. But I mean, I love the hip. I love the hip helicarrier. That's one of my favorite looking cards. But what did you think about the helicarrier change?
It's great. I have the Helicarrier. It is great.
Do you?
The,
That's
the
such a good card.
Helicarrier has 2 homes now. Collector can go back in Loki, and you can run Lady Sif and maybe Blade. I'm torn on whether you want Blade or not. But you run those 2 cards, and then you can still get like let's assume you have 4 cards in hand, right? You're getting +4 cards. That's +4 in Collector. You now have a 2/6 Collector. That's perfectly fine. You play a couple of those cards. You play an Agent Coulson, and now your Collector's 2/8, and that seems great. That's also really great for games where you don't end up getting your Loki off. It should be very powerful. The other home is going to be with Corvus Glaive. This is incredible with Corvus Glaive. You get +1 energy and a bajillion cards to play. Like this is going to be unfreaking real with Corvus Glaive. At least
Hmm.
that's my working theory at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's cool. I guess it's a cool thing that they're trying to make cards that never saw play see some play, which it
Mhm.
essentially seemed like what this patch well, except for a couple things, which we'll get to because I know we talked about another card prior to coming on here
Mhm.
that they were not too fond about the change that they made, but and I guess we'll go there. What obviously Beast. He now does. I'm going to pull him up too. He doesn't do what he did before for the decks that he was in, especially for bounce.
Mhm.
Let me see what he reads here now. Return your other cards here to your hand. They cost 1 less next turn. So the 1 cost reduction doesn't stay anymore. And I mean, that was huge. That was a big part of what Beast did and what the bounce decks wanted to play him for. And you had mentioned, and I'll let you talk about it. The coincidence of having Black Swan and having the both of them out there together is probably what caused this in the first place. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Beast? I know you're a big bounce guy and you love the archetype, but how bad do you think this kind of hurts bounce?
So I think it hurts it in the like all-in bounce list. I think bounce might still be a package. Bounce exists as a package specifically in oh my god, I can't think of the name of the deck. Oh, I featured it today, the .geo deck. I think bounce exists in a package in the Annihilus deck, where it's just a few cards. I think that deck is probably fine for Beast. However, and this is like a huge, giant, blaring light caveat. However, I think Beast is dead in pure bounce decks. Pure bounce decks that are built around Hit Monkey and well, it could so if it's gonna work with Hitmonkey, you have to play Beast on the last turn, and then you have to or you have to play it earlier and then use Black Swan. And now Beast is just worse Falcon in that deck, right? Like it's Falcon, but it doesn't work in every location. It'll occasionally bring back an extra card. Whoopee. Um, the other place Beast was really good was in order to take advantage of Werewolf by Night, but now you can't play it before Werewolf by Night, so you can't play it on turn 3 and then play Werewolf and have a bunch of cheap cards because the cards will go back to normal cost. So you have to play it on 5 again. So Beast is now basically, even though it's cheaper, only a turn 5 play, and it's like strictly worse than Falcon. And I think they did that because Beast was significantly better than Black Swan. Black Swan sucks right now, I think. Like, I hope I'm wrong. I hope someone comes up and is like, nope, I was doing perfectly fine yesterday with a Black Swan Beast deck, where Black Swan was totally excess. She was absolutely an extra card that I never really needed, and now that's gone. And I think that the deck and game are both worse for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of people were looking forward to it, and
Mhm.
we're kind of thinking that that would bring back bounce a lot this in this coming season. And obviously now that now that they did that, and like you were saying, Black Swan, not what people maybe thought she was going to be. I know you had mentioned that it's in the Thanos deck, which it seems like it's the only really good home for it. And now you get the Beast thing, and so kind of dissuades a lot of people from playing bounce, I think. And it was I mean, just what, 2-3 months ago was a huge archetype. I remember Lambie played it a lot,
Mhm.
won with it a lot, and a lot of people like it. And now all of a sudden, it's really going to have a hard time. I mean, it'll still exist, I'd imagine, out there, but it's going to be a lot harder to play now that Beast is what he is.
Yeah, I very much agree, and it makes me real, real sad.
Yeah.
I was really happy with the way Bounce was. Hit Infinite with Bounce last season.
Did you?
I
Okay.
It wasn't like meta, but it was good enough. And like they just sideways killed Beast because of Black Swan, and it really makes me sad.
What kind of bounce deck were you using? Were you doing like I know there's like an Annihilus bounce going around that, or were you just
Regular straight hardcore Bounce. The one Lambie made is based off my deck. It was 2 cards different. The,
nice? Okay.
so I sent to Lambie and was like, test it. And he was like, okay, I'm changing these 2 cards. And then that's the one he shared. Mine ended up still having a higher win rate, just for the record.
There you go.
He cut Iceman for Spider Ham, and then he cut Shadow King for the Grandmaster when Grandmaster came out. I couldn't remember Grandmaster's name. Sorry.
Yep. Yep. Well, hey, he knows what he's doing, but that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That he got the idea from you. That's great stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I
So
mean, overall, I think. I mean, I know I did. I think I had maybe some little bit of high expectation for this thing that came out today. And I know I've talked to others who kind of might have too, and not so much necessarily for card changes because we got a good deal of them prior, but a lot of the announcements that they had made in the coming soon stuff, where a lot of people thought maybe we might get the new card borders, or we might get the mastery stuff, like
mhm.
something from this patch. So were you? I mean, were your expectations met with what they did? I know we did get. They have. I see
no,
they
we got
brought they
no,
they
we got
brought
a load of
events.
nothing.
Yeah, they brought the events back. Yay.
I mean, I guess I don't really care. Like, it's not.
It's
Look, it's more free stuff, so
yeah, it's
I'm
not
not like
bad.
sad that they
Yeah,
gave us more free stuff, right? I'm not like, oh, you bastards, how dare you? But like, it's also I'm more or less at whatever with it.
yeah,
It's
yeah. Yeah, when I everybody was, well, this is a big patch. It just looks like they did when you go down the list. I mean, there's so
Mhm.
many bug fixes, known issues, and stuff like that. Which, hey, they have to do that kind of stuff, and that's great. But and I've already noticed some new bugs. Like there's
Oh yeah.
literally when I was in the collection part, and I was putting cards in a deck. I ended up putting one card in. And now I play mobile mostly, so I wasn't on my
Mhm.
computer, but it was on my phone, and I'm putting Rock Slide in a deck, and all of a sudden I look up and there's 2 Rock Slides in my deck, and I'm trying to get one back out, and it wouldn't come out.
Mm.
So then there's 2 Rock Slides. I'm like,
You
oh,
just have
what
to
was
close
this?
the app and reopen it. It's super annoying,
Yeah,
but
that's what
it's
I
your
did.
only solution.
Yeah, I just shut it down and started over again. But
Hmm.
um, I wanted to I wanted to talk to you about this a little bit. And obviously, since we get a lot of our information ahead of time with this game, and Drew Berry just did an amazing video like he usually does with the
True
data
Bear is the
mines today.
best.
Yeah, he's really good at
Mhm.
what he does, and his snapper pass stuff I absolutely love. But talking about going forward, and again, I saw this around, and
Hmm.
I never really saw any kind of confirmation or anything, but I wanted to run this by you. So what do you think about, a lot of people are saying now that they're not going to allow access to, they had said that they might stop with the bundles where you're not going to be able to see or predict what the bundles are going to be, but now apparently something came down the pipe where they're saying that now it's going to be done with caches, and you're not going to be able to see what the spotlight caches are anymore going forward. So, what are your thoughts on that? Because like I said, Twitter goes crazy about weird things, and I know that from my wrestling channel. You just see things blow up on Twitter, and it's a lot of nonsense a lot of the
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
Cody Rhodes and The Rock being one of them right now, but
I'm just gonna say for any wrestling fans watching, you're being worked. Please stop being such a fucking mark. Please stop being such a fucking mark. Holy
thank you.
mark.
I should play that
Um,
on my wrestling channel.
you can please feel free.
Yes,
Like I
yes.
messaged one of my friends, and like the second I saw it, and I was like, "This is a work," and they were like, "What?" And I was like, "This is a work." They're like, "What do you mean, Rock is in wrestling?" Like, right? This is literally they're doing this because it's gonna get Cody more over. And then 2 days later, it came out that like, yeah, they realized this would get Cody. I was like, yeah, no shit. God, you fucking marks. God, wrestling fans are the worst.
Oh gosh, the stuff that I put up with over
Excuse
there
me.
on that, yeah, the
Hmm.
tribalism in
Hmm.
wrestling is just insane. But yeah, yeah, I heard a story about that, saying that the whole reason they wanted, or they might be doing this, is because they might want Cody to win that title in Madison Square Garden, where his father could have won it. And did actually win it, but then they took it off of him because he didn't actually win the match. But anyway,
Dude,
not really a wrestling podcast. So
his father won the NWA title. He didn't need the shitty regional WWF title. It's fine.
yeah, yeah.
Stop pretending that's a story that matters. Sorry. Again, like, oh no, he didn't win the other stupid title when that was the less important one. What a shame.
Yeah. 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 It's it's crazy. But yeah, so and then this has been going all over the place today with a lot of people saying that, hey, if this happens, I'm done. Or I actually put a poll up saying that, is this that
Mm.
important that you would stop playing if you're not seeing what the spotlight caches are? And it's mixed reaction. So far, most people have said no, that it didn't mean that much to them in the long run. But there were some that were out there, and I saw in Terrobang's post, and then a lot of people underneath his post were saying, "I'm done. This is it. I'm not playing anymore. I don't understand why they're holding this information back. It messes up the economy. It doesn't allow me to prepare myself as to what I need to save, maybe my tokens for, or whether I need to save the gold for, whatever the case might be." But what are your thoughts on this? I mean, to be honest, games I've played in the past, you never knew anything. I mean, going back to my old Magic days, now they preview sets and you can see the cards early. In the past, they never did any of that. I was playing Magic in the 90s. We were opening packs. We had no clue what the hell we were going to get back then because there wasn't any of this stuff going on. It was a different time. But what do you think about that? I mean, is it a big deal? People making it into a big deal? What are your thoughts on
If it's true, it's a huge deal.
it? Okay.
Marvel Snap is predicated on like the reason that I'm comfortable advertising this game, creating for this game, is
Hmm.
largely that despite all the different ways they try and milk you, and they 1,000% try and milk you in 1,000 different ways. Despite that fact, because I don't think it's even debatable at this point, it's a fact. They will try and milk players. Um, Even with that, they you can keep up if you're smart and focused for $10 a month. You can plan, you can organize, you can do what you need to, and you can keep up for $10 a month. And I don't think that's true anymore.
Hmm.
If you can't plan to, I don't think you can anymore. And then the game gets really expensive, and what they're ultimately preying on is people's anxiety and feelings of negativity. And I don't know how to put it except that I hate that, and I think it's shitty. I don't care when they do it for cosmetics and bundles. When you do
Right.
that for cosmetics and bundles, like it annoys me that I can't budget. But you know what it does? It makes me spend less on Marvel Snap. You want me to spend less on your game? More power to you. I will just spend less. Fine. Like I don't want to, but you're forcing my hand. So if you really, really, really want to force my hand to give you less of my money, then I guess you've made your life choice, right? Fine. That's not what this is, though. This is saying, hey, without giving us a bunch of money, you can't even play the game. That's a different feeling. That's wrong to me. That's where I'm like, there's a line here. Because now, and look, it's not going to affect me. I've got 73,000 tokens still,
Yeah. Oh
and I've
wow.
got 15 or 16 spotlight caches. So, like, this is in no way a thing that matters to my life. Like, in any way, shape, or form. It's just not a thing. But it is a thing for a lot of people. And it's a really shitty thing for a lot of people that they're doing to them. And I don't like it. And I don't want to support it. And I fully plan to do anything I can to say, hey, don't do this thing.
Mm. I can't even understand why. Well, yeah, I guess you can't understand why. It's money thing, but
It'll make them more money. It'll definitely make
yeah,
them more money.
yeah,
Because like
that's
you'll be like, oh my god, I can't believe that this card is in the spotlight that I didn't know was coming, and I don't have enough keys saved. Oh my god, I better spend money and buy things.
yeah, yeah. It's yeah, it's kind of crazy. I don't really understand it. I mean, I could see not seeing the data mine cards and stuff like that. Like, yeah, okay, that's not that big of a deal. I think if they want to say, well, it's a spoiler and we don't want people to know ahead of time the cards and
No,
stuff
we
like that.
have to know whether it's a spoiler or not. You unless you want to make card acquisition easier,
Yeah.
then we have to be able to plan. Like a bunch of people last season skipped Hercules. And they're like, we don't want you to skip Hercules. We want you to buy Hercules. Then make Hercules good enough. But tell us Hercules is coming. Because otherwise
Mm,
we have like we need to know. Like if I saved up for XYZ and then like all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is amazing, I would be upset.
yeah. I mean, it is very important. I mean, it's always very important, but especially the world we live in, everything's expensive, and
Hmm.
so it is important to know what you're going to need to buy and what you're not. It's not like every single card we get in the game is good, and there are cards that aren't. Like you mentioned, Hercules wasn't great. So knowing ahead of time if you can skip that card or not, I don't know. Do you think? And I know the last time you were on the show, we talked about the whole new verse thing and them going away from new verse
Hmm.
and all that kind of stuff. Do you think this, if this indeed is what's going on, do you think this is an indication of where they're going? Do you think this is like an indication of the future, like for them, and going to like a different style of economy, and you're seeing things, if you start seeing prices go up? I know I think it was Safety Blade that might have shared one of the bundles and stuff like that went up in price now, and so do you think this is maybe due to that new verse thing?
They're extremely data driven. So I don't think it has anything to do with Nuverse. I think their
Okay.
data is telling them they make more money when they do X, Y, and Z. And they're just following that. But also, I don't know if it's true. Because I spent all day sort of really annoyed that they were going to kill these data mines. And then I checked Marvel Snap Zone, Snapman, and Drewberry, and all three of them had data mines for April with
Yeah.
new cards and full spotlight bundles. So, like, they said this is gone, but like, I'm reading it. So maybe it's less sure than it was. And
Mm,
that I'm fine with. You don't have to be set in stone. You as long as we can get them and you can change them. I was never the like how dare you change bundles guy. The only bundle I was actually upset they changed was the Christmas one because it was such silly value. It felt like a Christmas present, and
yep.
because they didn't speak about it for so long, it was frustrating. But
Mm,
outside of that, I don't care if they change bundles. They have every right to change anything they want, right? Like it's not released to me. They weren't advertising it. We were data mining. Fine. Change whatever you want that way.
yeah. Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. Yep. So we've got some exciting news,
Mhm.
or you had some exciting news. I'm excited to even be part of it, but this is coming
Okay.
up. And I wanted to talk with you about this because I know you had mentioned, like I said the last time you were on
Mhm.
the show, you had mentioned that it was something that was kind of a thing that maybe might end up taking place just away. And that's one thing about this game is of course we saw the creator tournaments. I watched the creators tournament, and of tournaments that where I know that listening to Lambie on podcasts and stuff like that, I heard him say that he flew to a couple tournaments and stuff that they had in person. I know
Mhm.
there was one in New York City, I think, that I
Yeah.
had heard some people go to, but other than that, you know, there's not really a whole lot of that yet. And I know Snap is kind of a young game, but this is really cool. And I wanted you to talk about it. You've got a league coming up, and tell all the listeners who haven't heard. I'm sure a lot have heard about it, but let everybody know what this is all about. I think this is fantastic.
All right, so I love Marvel Snap competitive play. I did commentary for both Snap Fan back when it was with Snap Fan, and they were doing monthly tournaments, and Snap Battle Arena every other week when they were doing twice monthly tournaments. I did commentary all the time. I love tournaments, and there's been a big hole in the community since they stopped happening. And I've always been the type of person, if I'm going to complain about something, if I can try and fix it, I do so. So, along with Gunny T, who you heard on this show a couple weeks ago, that's why I made fun of him when his name came up. I talk to Gunny more than my wife right now. Um, so, like, I talk to Gunny so much. I wake up and I'm like, "Oh, look, 4 messages from Gunny," and then we talk for like 2 hours as I'm like getting ready and going to work. Then I go to work and we message all day. It's I talk to Gunny a lot. But then so Gunny was like, "Why don't we do it?" And I was like, "All right, let's do it." So he came up with most of the logistics. I think honestly all of the logistics, and I was just like, "Cool, I will make this happen." And he was like, "How do we get the word out?" I was like, "Well, I know every content creator because I have this podcast thing where I've had freaking everyone but the like big four on. I haven't had like Kochia, Hooglin, Dexter, and Binks on, and I've had basically every freaking one else."
Yep.
So I was like, "I'm just gonna go message everyone, um, and see who wants to be in." And like, so I started with Lambie because I figured if Lambie said he was in, then like everyone else would at
Oh
least be
yeah.
like, well, if Lambie's in, and like Lambie and I get along great. Lambie's like the nice. I don't. You should get Lambie on the show, by the way. Lambie
Yep.
is the nicest human being on earth. He's literally just like, yes, I can help people. I will help people. Also, Lambie's just dying to compete. So Lambie's like, yes, please. I was like, all right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do um um oh Gunny just messaged me. I swear you can't make it up.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Should tell him he's on the air.
Uh Sorry, I need him to look over my slideshow for tomorrow. That's literally so I'm gonna send that to him. I'm sorry this is terrible audio, but Gunny gives me a once over read on my slideshow so I don't break anything because occasionally I'll just like not have it. Um so okay. Sorry. So what it is you sign up to the Patreon for $1. The $1 is not going to make me money. I mean it would be nice if one day it did. But for the time being, the $1 is literally just going to be covering overhead, giving away prizes. I'm trying to force people like Gunny and other people who are helping me to take money. We're in a constant argument about it. But like, I don't have money. We can do money later. No, just take money. I shouldn't make a profit off this as we're like developing it and you're doing work. It's a whole thing. I will force. Worst case, I have their Snap IDs. I'll just start buying them season passes and shit. What are they gonna do? Refund it? Like they have no choice. It's fine. So we decided that if you sign up for the Patreon on $1, we made a Discord that links to. You go on that Discord, and then you get put into a league. The league is basically as many pods as we can fill of 32 players each. You play one game a week for 4 weeks. At that point, apparently mathematically, we have a king of Swiss. We have a winner of each pod. That winner of the pod gets a season pass. And that winner of the pod gets moved out of that pod into a winners pod, which will be the 5th week, where we'll have winners pods and basically competing for a grand prize. Who knows what that is? It's probably just a big bundle in the game, right? But we felt like Marvel Snap's player base, at least my audience, as far as Marvel Snap's player base, is like all these adults, right? Like I can see my viewer demographics on YouTube. It's adults. I've got a few like 20 somethings, but almost everyone's like a full ass adult, which means time is an issue. You can find time to play one conquest game a week with somebody, right?
Mhm.
For $1, which is something that even the parts of the world where $1 is far more than it is in America can scrounge up a dollar. And if you can't, and you're in a part of the world where that's an issue, please message me and we'll try and work something out for you.
Right.
But so for $1, you get to compete in a tournament, and the cool part is, uh, I wasn't kidding when I said I knew a lot of creators. I got 56 creators in currently, including
Wow,
you.
that's awesome.
56 creators are in. Lambie, Drewberry, I don't know, Prashawn, Gunny. Pick someone who's been on this podcast. I promise you they're in. Uh, but like, and then like a bunch of people who aren't gonna compete or aren't sure if they're competing or like signed on to like promote and help. Like Cam is gonna call some games. Alex Kochia is gonna promote. Um,
Nice.
Eggs will promote, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Den is gonna promote and might play. He's French, so God forbid he gives me an answer without being a pain in my ass first. But yeah, so at the end of the day, like this is going to be huge, and like, so I don't know if you played another game, like let's say you played Magic or like
Mhm,
I don't know, Pokemon or Hearthstone. The
mhm.
odds of you ever being like, I'm gonna go play in a tournament and basically like if I'm in this pod, I'm gonna guarantee to play myself like 2 or 3 content creators is really rare, right? And if you
Really,
join every
def
month, you're gonna see content creators every month. I think it's a really cool opportunity for the community to be like, oh cool, look, that's Lambie. Oh cool, look, that's whoever. I'm also really happy the entire top of the Infinite Ladder is joining. I spoke to Geo today,
Oh, that's cool.
and like the whole, like the top of the Infinite Ladder is joining. Let's see like how that ladder skills translate to conquest. We're gonna build what I want to do outside of like just having a really cool tournament is I want to build the stories of Marvel Snap the game through this, right?
Mm,
The stories of people coming close and not quite making it. The stories of, oh my God, this person is the first person that won 2 of these things. Oh my God, this person lost and they were nothing and now all of a sudden they're incredible. Those stories like help a game grow and thrive and it
yeah.
create a history for it. And like I think that this is an amazing opportunity for the game. And like I don't think regular tournaments should go anywhere. I think the regular like 12-hour a day Sunday tournaments are awesome,
Mhm.
but I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Like, the kid's gonna come home, right? Like,
Yep.
my wife wants to do something, but I can play a game of Conquest a week, and I can make it so you can play a game of Conquest a week with some really cool people. So, I wanna do that.
Yeah, that's very cool. I mean, I know when I'm sitting and watching, a lot of times late night I watch Binks. I love Binks' streams. I do.
Binks is
I
a
think
great guy.
he's hilarious. I love watching his streams. And I think last night he was playing, and all of a sudden you see, boop, KM Best pops up, and he's like,
Mhm,
"Is this the real KM Best?" And of course it was.
mhm,
And then the two of them play. But that's cool because, and like you were saying, it's I- when even when I was much younger and I was playing Magic, we would go to tournaments, and now they were big. We'd have to drive a state away to go because there weren't really anywhere close.
mhm,
But you pay an entrance fee. But the cool thing was, and none of us, my friends or myself, never got anything close. I think my friend almost finished top in the top 10 at one of them that we went to. But the coolest thing was, you're in this big room. It's filled with a bunch of people. A lot of these people, even back then, you knew their names, you knew who they were just because of how good they were. And a lot of times, you might finish up your games and you win one, you lose one, and then you're done, whatever the single elimination, whatever it is. But then you can go around and you could kind of just observe and you could watch everybody else, that are actually playing, and to get near some of these, these bigger names that you hear about, it's kind of cool. So yeah, I agree in that respect. I mean, hey, I would never think that I would ever come across playing a Lambie or someone
mhm.
of that nature in a game. And if I was able to get into a game with them, I think that's pretty cool, and it's definitely worth $1, I think, to do that. I think that's a really really awesome idea, and plus it just gets other people involved, and like you said, people. It's I always try to talk to people who aren't necessarily people that can play a lot, and because like you, I mean, I've got a job, I've got
Mhm,
a lot of other things that I do, and this way, like you said, you can definitely find the time to play one game for what's a conquest match take, probably 20 minutes maybe or so,
mhm.
per week. So I think it's a great idea, and I think it's going
Thank
to
you.
do well. $1, man, $1. That's
Right?
you
And
can't
people
beat that.
and some people are like, "But I won't win." It's $1. What are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do with $1 that's more fun than playing 4 games of Snap against, like, people in a competitive setting, right? Like, you can't get a pack of gum for
Come on,
$1.
man.
Like,
Yeah,
are
like
you
people would
kidding
say,
me?
oh, a soda. You can't even get a soda in
Yeah.
a McDonald's for $1
Yep.
anymore.
Yep. No
Yeah.
joke. Just, like, suck it up and, like, spend the dollar. And I promise you, you're not making me rich. If I can get rich $1 at a time, then I'm doing something real right?
Yeah.
But, like, Coach can't get rich $1 at a time, so, like, chill out.
Oh man, yeah, this is awesome. So you can see it up there, obviously on video if you're watching it on YouTube. If not on audio, this is the Snap Judgements League. It says play against the best. Starts March the 2nd, and it's open to all Snap Judgments $1 patrons. So that's the dollar we were just talking about, and hosted by Gunny T, of course, Glazer here, and the other one on the sign is Doug. Is
Yeah,
it Doug
that would
Pie?
be Doug Pie, yeah. Doug
Okay,
Pie is helping us out a lot.
so you guys will be the hosts of the whole thing.
Yep, and we're probably gonna get more people to help host. Honestly, we're just trying to. My theory is many hands make light work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very true. That's awesome. I love it. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So, if you haven't done so already and you're listening now to the show, which I hope you all are, get in on this. It's going to be a fun thing, And like you said, you never thought you'd be able to play against one of these top names and stuff like that are out there. And you may very well do that. You may queue up with Lambie and get to say, "Hey, I played against Lambie," and you never know, things can happen. Maybe somebody slips up and you might beat one of these big names too,
I
which
mean,
would be
it's a game of Marvel Snap. It's not like
yeah,
impossible or
yeah,
even that unlikely.
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Now I love this, and obviously Gunny T getting involved with it as well. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Very, very cool. So, besides all the work you are doing, sir, and we're getting to be close to the time, and I got to let you go because this man has to go and teach in the morning.
Oh, no,
So,
sir. I have to record a 40-minute video,
oh, that's
upload it,
right.
then go to bed and teach.
Oh my
No,
God,
no, no.
man.
The video is done except for the thumbnail, which is just a miracle. But because today was long.
Yeah,
But yeah, we're good. I got a really, really cool deck tomorrow that I think is kind of busted.
there you go.
It's Desmond. Desmond is a freaking genius. I love so that's what tournaments do though. Sorry, I'm gonna talk about tournaments again.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
and then we can go. But like if I just said Desmond, you went who's Desmond? Desmond's a Southeast Asian player
Okay.
who's just dominant and builds like decks that reshape the meta, but you don't know him. But like if we're all in the same tournaments, guess who you know? Desmond.
Desmond.
I actually need to DM Desmond and make sure he joins. But yeah,
That's cool, man. Yeah, I love it. I love the. It's one of the reasons why I like this game so much, and one of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing now, which I never really expected to get the reception that I did to do what I'm doing, because there's so many people that do it and do it well. But one of the reasons is a community, and one of the things that I admire most about what you do is you with all your videos that you do every day and everything like that, it's to help people. It's to help people get
yes.
better,
Mhm.
and I love that, and that's one of the reasons why I gravitated to Gunny. Is the same way with everything he's trying to do. He's trying to just help people get better, and that's a great thing. You don't see that very much, I don't think, in other gaming communities where people are just trying to help and trying to help their communities and stuff get better at a game. So. I gotta say, man, I admire what you do.
Thank you.
Knowing full well that again, I know my wife teaches. I know how hard that is, and everything that you do along with that. You have a kid too, right?
Yep. I've
Yeah.
got a 7-year-old. He'll be 8 in a
Oh my
month.
gosh,
Next
man.
week, in a week and a half, we'll be going to Universal Studios. So,
Oh, nice,
and you know
nice.
how insane I am? There will be 0 days of missed videos. It is not a thing that my channel misses days of videos. We never have. One day we did one video at like 8 in the morning and we released another video at like 8 p.m. and we were like, that 8 p.m. one is counting as the next day video. Thank you. But we've never actually just not had a video.
Oh my gosh, man. Well, maybe you could find one of the Marvel rides, and you could do one live from one of the Marvel rides in
No, no,
Universal Studios.
I'm gonna pre-record. So I'm leaving on Saturday, right? So on Friday, I'm just gonna stay up like 3 quarters of the night. I'll sleep on a plane, and I'm gonna record Sunday, Monday, Tuesday videos, and then Wednesday and Thursday, I'm gonna have like I don't know, Peaceful Sea and Savage Yeti, for example, or Fothor Newman, record videos for the channel in my format, and then I should be back by Friday. At which point, I will have to stay up to record a video and get the podcast ready because we'll be recording the
Oh
podcast
my
Friday night,
gosh.
but there will be 0 days missed. That's not it's just not a thing.
And he does it all for everybody that's out there listening, man. The hardest working man in Marvel Snap, right here,
I
in Marvel
mean,
Snap content creation. Uh,
I'm up
and
there. I'm not like I used to
I
be like
don't know.
no, but like
I don't know if
yeah.
you're up there, but
I,
I don't know, man. You might be the pinnacle.
uh,
I think you might have you might have the
uh,
top spot.
it's fair.
That's and
It's
no
we're at a
joke.
point where it's possible. I used to scoff, and now I'm like, man, yeah, yeah. Like at any given point in my life, I'm doing like 3 Marvel Snap things at a time. Like I'm switching between I wrote it so today, here, ready? Today I wrote an article that has 50 7 or 8 content creators, not the same ones that are in the tournament, but many of them are, telling me their rankings of best card this season to worst card this season with a sentence. So I wrote up a couple paragraphs on each new card, copied their comments in, and then made a deck for each new card, and I made that an article for Snapzone. So that was today. I made that thing. Then I had like 17 union problems at work that I don't want to talk about. My son had computer, so I had to like run to my son's computer to pick him up. My wife didn't feel good, so she left work early. So I picked up my son. He forgot his book bag at my mother's house. We went there. Then we went back to get dinner because my wife didn't feel good, so we went to get dinner. Then I took them both to Carvel. Then I came home and I hung out with him until bed. I helped him with his homework. He yelled at me because he didn't like that he was wrong, even though he was, and I made him fix it. And then I finally got him to bed. And I sat down and made a slideshow and watched Dynamite. Then I did this. Now I'm going to record a video. I've got to finish a thumbnail, record a video, and then once the video is recorded, I don't edit, but like fully optimize, upload, put it on the Patreon. Haven't replied to the Patreon all day. Gunny's yelling at me literally right now. And then I will finally, around 12:31, go to sleep.
And then he gets back up, goes to
Gets
work,
back
and
up at
then
6,
does it
do it
all
again.
over again.
Well, tomorrow we add in. I won't have an article, but I have to do the slideshow for tomorrow's podcast because Snap Judgements records tomorrow.
Oh man, dude, God bless.
It's fun. It's fun.
If
I
you-
do it because it's fun. I swear.
It's yeah. And that, well, you know what, man, that's a big part of it. I do this, and I've told other people I do this because I went to college for journalism. I was an aspiring journalist. It's always what I wanted to do, and I never really got a chance. I wrote some newspaper articles for a little bit, and so I had my name on some bylines and stuff. It was kind of cool, but I never really got a chance to live this out. And then COVID happened, and we all kind of got stuck in the house. And my daughter convinced me. She's like, "Dad, you should do podcasts." And I'm like, "There's no way I can do podcasts." And she's like, "Oh my God, Dad, it's so easy. Just try it." And I did. And a wrestling channel started. And then, along comes Marvel Snap. And I thought, you know what? Why not? Why not? And like you said, I love it. I enjoy doing this. And regardless of it, and the people have been so amazing that have come on the show. I love talking to people.
Yeah, everyone's been great but Gunny.
Yeah. Yes.
He's gonna keep yelling at me in DMs, and I'm gonna keep shit talking him. You see how that happens? I have the microphone right now.
See who's in charge, Gunny. See. Oh man, I love it. But all right, sir. Well, listen, it's always a pleasure. I love having you on the show. I love your insights.
Look, my friend, there will be a patch next month, so I will fight you to come back.
You don't have to ever fight, man. You are welcome back here anytime you want.
Thank you.
But yeah, man, awesome. Love having you. Again, like I said, the hardest working man in Snap. Make sure you get in on the tournament or the league. Make sure you join. Again, it's $1. Where, like you said, where else are you going to use $1 today? So it's going to be a lot of fun. You can see the poster here. I will share that on Twitter as well. Make sure you do it. It's going to be a lot of fun. You get to play people. Maybe you can play me, and maybe you'll play a goofy Galactus deck. You'll know it's me because I'll probably be the only one playing it. So guys, it's been fun. I will talk to you. I got some guests next week, I believe, too. The Kids Snap will be on with me. I was on their show already. Love those guys. They are awesome. They inspired me to do. I'm going to do a. They do that little guess the deck thing. I'm going to do a guess the pixel thing on my videos going forward. So kind of remind me of like old game show things where they blow up a picture and you kind of don't know what it is because it's all out of proportion. And so I'm going to do that, but they're going to be on with me. Those guys are awesome. And then I have Zal Snap as well that I'm going to be talking to next week too. Yeah, him and I have just talked on the socials and stuff, and I've never got to meet him, so I have him coming on too. Any other creators out there want to collab, please hit me up. I am always welcome to have somebody on and talk Marvel Snap. I think it's an amazing thing. So Glazer, thank you so much. And guys,
my pleasure.
I appreciate it, man. Guys, I will talk to you all next, obviously, Monday with the Kid Snap. Zal is on Tuesday. I'll get those out. This one will be released in the next 45 minutes to an hour or so on both the YouTube channel and on audio. For those of you who are audio listeners, again, if you go hit up my YouTube channel, please make sure you like the video, make sure you sub to the channel as well. And for the audio stuff, make sure you leave me comments and rate the podcast. Very, very important. And I really love when you do. I will always respond to whatever you leave out there for me. I appreciate all of you for listening. And that's going to do it for me and for Glazer tonight. We will talk to you all soon, guys. Have a great one. Enjoy Marvel Snap, and I'll talk to you soon.